They were two single parents sharing one common bond.
When they met, it was perfect timing. They were both working towards a goal.
She was smitten. He swept her off of her feet.
But when gunshots pierce the early morning stillness, their romance is swept into turmoil.
Somebody just got shot in the head out here. Oh my God, holy.
She had one gunshot to her left cheek, one behind her ear, and then another in her forehead. It seemed like overkill.
The homicide investigation will prove that sometimes evil hides in plain sight.
The entire murder was caught on tape.
Police believe she may have been targeted by one of her passengers.
Next thing I know, he gets in the car, gets into the vehicle. It says what? Drive.
Detectives learn that what initially seems like a job-related fatality is anything but.
I'm noticing that she's up inappropriate pictures. That's like a pretty explicit photo. Yes, very explicit.
This murder was fueled with anger and rage and distrust.
She's standing next to a white SUV that matches the exact description of the getaway vehicle.
This is a classic case of fatal attraction.
When you hear, "Baby, I love you to death," be wary, because they just might.
October 28, 2020, Baytown, Texas. It's a quiet night in this quaint Houston suburb.
What people love about Baytown is the community is very close-knit. A lot of people know each other.
It's oil workers. It's everything somebody would think of as far as hardworking, good old USA.
By 5 a.m., one hardworking Baytown resident, Brenda Summers, is up and ready to start the day, but it will soon be hurled into chaos.
Brenda was getting ready for work, and all of a sudden she hears a loud noise resembling a gunshot. When she looked out her window, she witnessed a person being shot in their car.
Oh my God.
She immediately called 911.
I don't want to say this emergency. Somebody just got shot in the head out here. Oh my God, he's shot right square in the head. Holy. Stay on the phone with me, okay? We're gonna get someone out there.
Within minutes, Baytown police arrive at the apartment complex where Brenda lives on the north side of town.
They're looking at the victim inside the vehicle, consistent with what was reported on 911. Her foot is on the brake. The brake lights are still on. The engine is still running.
It's obvious to them that this person has been shot multiple times.
Police quickly realize they're too late to render first aid.
Unfortunately, there was no pulse. She was already dead.
The first things that homicide detectives want to know at a murder scene is who is their victim.
Obviously, they're trying to figure out some identification, and they look down and they see that the deceased woman has a fanny pack.
When they look inside, they discover a Texas license.
The victim is 31-year-old Jasmine Garrett.
Once you know as a homicide detective who your victim is, you can start conducting what's called the psychological autopsy. Who is this? This is not just a body in front of us. This is a person.
Born and raised in Indiana, Jasmine Garrett always had an affinity for the arts.
Jasmine had such a creative mind. It didn't matter if it was arts, writing, that's how she expressed herself.
She loved to read, she loved to paint, and people gravitated towards her because of that free spirit.
Jasmine's the type of person that dreams big and has a big heart. Some people may say a hopeless romantic.
Jasmine was eager to see what the world outside her Indiana hometown had to offer.
She made a huge decision to move to a big city, and that city was Houston, Texas.
Growing up in a small town, the lure of the big city can seem very enticing.
And shortly after moving to Houston, Jasmine found love with a man named Calvin Ray.
Calvin was another free spirit just like Jasmine, and they really connected over their love of adventure.
But in 2018, the couple got some unexpected news that would change their life forever. Jasmine was pregnant with twins.
One newborn is a lot, but two are overwhelming. So Calvin and Jasmine really struggled to stay afloat.
And things became even more challenging when Jasmine lost the help of her partner.
Jasmine's boyfriend and the father of her two twins got into some legal trouble, unfortunately, and was sent to jail.
Jasmine was already facing the challenges that come with being a new mother, but now her partner has become locked up.
She really needed some help.
So Jasmine reluctantly sent the twins to live with family members in Indiana, while she worked to create a stable environment for them in Houston.
She was making decisions that would help benefit them in the long run.
Jasmine was on her grind. Her main focus was affording an apartment and getting her children back.
She's working 12-hour days as a driver with rideshare companies to save up money so she can get an apartment of her own and have a place where her children can come to.
The last thing on Jasmine's mind was finding romance. But one night on the job, romance found her.
She picks up a handsome passenger named Robert Roberts.
Robert?
Yeah, Jasmine?
That's me.
Okay. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you last night?
It's better now.
She was smitten. He was congenial. He was funny. He swept her off of her feet.
He had a personality that was outgoing and fun.
Actually, you mind if I move up front?
Oh, no problem. Go for it.
All right.
Like Jasmine, Robert was a single parent, working hard to provide for his kids.
These two right here, is yours?
Yeah, those are my babies.
I actually, I got two of my own. That's them right there.
Robert is a young father taking care of his children. And that said to Jasmine that he's a provider, he's a protector.
Before long, the two were inseparable.
They were so wooed by one another. They had already started planning to create this life with one another.
They ended up leaning on each other. They became each other's person.
So how did Jasmine end up shot to death in the Houston suburb of Baytown?
She had one gunshot to her left cheek, one behind her ear, and then another in her forehead. It seemed like overkill.
Homicide detectives look for things that are out of the ordinary, disorganized. What is it about this scene that is telling this story?
They see a sign on her dashboard that indicates she's a car share driver.
Which provides investigators with their first lead.
Was Jasmine picking someone up at this apartment complex?
Police believe she may have been targeted by one of her passengers.
In October of 2020, single mom Jasmine Garrett was on the grind.
She gets with a rideshare company, starts making money that way.
Jasmine was working 12 hours a day so that she could save enough money to get her own apartment, get her children back.
Jasmine was determined. She was going to make something of her life.
And when she picked up a charming passenger, Robert Roberts, she thought she'd found a kindred spirit.
The two of them were forging a very tight relationship, providing each other the support that they needed in order to be successful.
But now Jasmine has been found shot to death at an apartment complex in the Houston suburb of Baytown.
Crimes such as this you really don't see very often in Baytown, Texas. They are trying to figure out what in the world just happened.
Investigators immediately noticed that her rideshare sign is lit up.
They also noticed that her cell phone was missing. And so the police ascertained that this could have been a robbery by one of her potential passengers. There was stippling present on the gunshot wounds, which means she was shot at very close range.
It is clear that this person didn't just fire a weapon at Jasmine. They were right on her. They were perhaps within inches of her head when they fired this gun.
These shots were all intentional, close range, and that tells us that the gunman was not taking any chances of Jasmine surviving. He wanted to make sure this person was dead.
Inside Jasmine's car and on the ground around it, investigators locate 3 .40 caliber shell casings.
So now, you know that Jasmine was shot with a .40 caliber pistol.
The casings were bagged as evidence and sent off for ballistic testing. Police hope they'll eventually be able to match them to a murder weapon.
Investigators also collect a parking pass hanging from Jasmine's rearview mirror.
It looks similar to parking passes hanging in other surrounding vehicles.
Detectives take that parking pass with the intentions of providing it to the apartment staff to see if they can verify if she is a tenant.
But first, they want to speak to their eyewitness, the woman who called 911, Brenda Summers.
At this point, she's the only one who saw what happened.
Miss Summers, can you tell us everything that you remember?
Of course. I was getting ready for work.
Brenda reiterates what she told dispatch on the 911 call, that around 5 a.m., she heard 2 loud bangs outside her apartment.
Brenda says that as she looks outside, she can see a man standing outside the driver's door of Jasmine's car.
She describes the killer as being a black male, about 5'9", wearing a white t-shirt and a red beanie hat.
He's also wearing a white medical mask.
I saw him shoot her square in the forehead, and then he ran.
She says he ran off to a wooded area, and that's when she called 911.
Oh my God, he shot right square in the head. Holy.
Do you recognize either of them from the apartment complex?
No, never saw them before.
Although Ms. Summers' description of the assailant is helpful, the detectives know they need more.
Thank you for your time, Miss Summers.
So they immediately go to the leasing office to speak with the manager to inquire as to whether or not the apartment complex has surveillance videos.
Can you pull up the footage around 4 a.m.?
Yes. The apartment complex has great security footage, and so they sit down and they begin to watch what unfolded.
At 4 a.m., detectives see a man matching the description given by Brenda Summers enter the apartment complex.
He's just lurking in the shadows, back and forth in front of this one particular apartment building.
Then at 4:52, detectives can see Jasmine exit one of the apartment buildings and walk directly towards her car in the parking lot.
The suspect hangs back a little bit. He waits until after she gets into her car before he approaches her vehicle.
They engage in what appears to be a heated discussion for several minutes.
And detectives already know what happens next.
The masked man fires into the car 3 times.
Jasmine's entire murder was caught on tape.
But in reviewing more of the surveillance footage, detectives noticed that the killer didn't run into the nearby woods like Brenda Summers thought.
After shooting Jasmine, he ran back to a white SUV, and the vehicle speeds immediately out of the apartment complex.
Who's driving the SUV?
Within hours of Jasmine Garrett's murder, police have discovered surveillance footage that shows the entire shooting go down. But several questions still remain.
Who is the masked man who shot her? And who is driving the white SUV that drove him from the scene?
When they roll back the footage, detectives see the white SUV arriving at the apartment complex just after 4 a.m.
So they're pretty confident the killer wasn't a resident of the apartment complex or someone Jasmine was picking up a part of a rideshare.
This murder was not a random robbery. Whoever killed Jasmine had her as a personal target.
This killing was planned and premeditated.
Unfortunately, though, detectives can't make out the getaway vehicle's license plate.
Can you zoom in more than that?
Unfortunately not.
Investigators are very frustrated during this time. It's almost too good to be true. It's not every day that a murder takes place that you can see it on footage, but you're missing so much information.
In hopes of trying to get more information about that white SUV, detectives assemble a group of foot patrol officers to kind of canvass the area.
Okay, let me know as soon as you find anything.
With that search underway, detectives have more questions for the manager of the apartment complex.
Detectives were not sure as to why Jasmine was in the apartment complex in the first place. They didn't know whether or not she was there to drop off or pick up a passenger, or if she actually lived there and was about to start work that morning.
Now, after looking at the surveillance video and seeing Jasmine exit one of the apartments, their belief is she possibly lived there.
Found this in the car.
Investigators hand over to the staff the parking pass that was found in Jasmine's car.
That's one of my passes.
However, it's not a resident parking pass.
The apartment management said, that's a visitor pass. That's not what the residents have.
Do you have records of tenants and visitors?
Yeah, let me look.
They were able to track down who provided that visitor pass.
The pass is linked to an apartment being leased by a man named Joel Pratt.
They make contact with Joel and bring him into the station for an official interview.
Listen, appreciate you coming in. I'm sorry we have to meet like this, all right? But we do need to sit down and see if we can help us out. We're gonna sort of go over everything again, all right? So, what do you know her as? What's her name to you? What do you call her?
Jazzy.
Jazzy?
Mm-hmm. Her name is Jasmine Garrett.
Joel says he and Jasmine became fast friends after she moved to the Houston area in 2016.
It was completely platonic. Joel is a gay man.
And when money got tight for Jasmine after the birth of her twins and their father's incarceration, Joel was there to help.
She asked Joel if she could crash on his couch for a while, and he agreed. Joel provided that safety net for her as she was getting her finances back on track. He gave her a place to stay.
You talk to her throughout the day your stay, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Is that common? Y'all talk, text, phone call, whatever?
Talk, text.
While she's out working. Everything seems to be fine?
Mm-hmm.
Joel remembers the evening before that Jasmine had come home pretty late, and she appeared to be really tired from working a 12-hour shift.
Hey.
Tired.
Long day, huh?
Very long day.
And they spoke for a little while, telling them about their day.
And then she crashed on the couch.
Yeah, she seemed perfectly fine.
She was tired.
Didn't indicate any issues going on that day. Or just seemed like a normal driving around, doing her business day.
It was just like a really big problem or something like this. She would have let me know.
The detectives have no reason to doubt Joel's story, and he doesn't appear to resemble the shooter in the surveillance footage.
They can easily rule him out as the person who killed Jasmine.
But they have to wonder, does he have any idea who did?
They ask him if he knows anybody who would want to harm Jasmine Garrett.
To detectives' surprise, Joel has an answer right away.
Joel tells detectives that she had been involved in an on and off again relationship.
They had the problems. They were going through it and everything like that. She would tell me about it. She would tell me everything, but she told me about it.
Who was this guy?
Albert Roberts?
He goes on to tell detectives that while he's never met Robert, the stories Jasmine shared were concerning.
Like she was just like, she was throwing stuff and she like, she was scared.
Texas police investigating the homicide of Jasmine Garrett have discovered she was living with a friend named Joel Pratt at the time of her murder. Now in an interview room, Joel has named a possible suspect.
Apparently, Jasmine was in an on and off again tumultuous relationship.
Who was this guy?
Albert Roberts.
Joel never actually met Robert Roberts in person. He had only heard about Robert from the stories that Jasmine told him, and those stories were pretty horrific.
Him and her had some problems earlier this year, and they got into an argument.
Joel told detectives this one, just bizarre story involving Robert and Jasmine.
She had to go up. Her parents are up in Indiana. Okay. They have kids.
Joel tells detectives that the last time Jasmine went to Indiana to visit her family, Robert went with her.
They were already having problems, but they were on their own. He didn't want nobody else along with her, so he went with her.
Robert had this desire that he had to control her. He had to control every aspect of her life.
On the drive back, Jasmine pulled over to get gas in Little Rock, Arkansas, when a stranger walked up behind her.
Jasmine was inappropriately approached by a man.
Some dude had touched her or something, rubbed her finger up her back, and then she turned around thinking it was the guy she was with. The dude told her, "I'm sorry, I just wanted to see your face," and she told him, "You don't need to touch people like that."
Robert sees this, but instead of running to her aid, he actually assaults her.
Hey! What the hell you doing talking to another man, huh?
To me, Robert.
He slapped her upside the head and told her, "Slap her?" Yes, hit her upside the head and told her, "Don't talk to anybody else." Then they got tussling.
Now, you think he would grab the man, this stranger. No, he attacked Jasmine, slapped her right there, right in front of everyone.
Good luck on your own.
Joel says Robert took off in the car, abandoning Jasmine at the gas station.
He takes off in her vehicle?
No, it was a rental at the time.
Whatever, you know.
Left her there at the store.
She was left with no money and no means to get back. She really had to try to figure things out.
She ended up calling Joel.
Joel, I need your help.
Joel Pratt is able to drive to Little Rock, Arkansas, and pick her up.
Jazzy, let me see. Jazzy, this is crazy.
I know. I'm so done with him. I swear I'm done after this.
But Robert wasn't done terrorizing Jasmine.
What is it?
Oh my God.
Roberts has hacked into her social media accounts and has began to post sexually explicit pictures of her.
They were pretty explicit photos.
Yes, very explicit. Jasmine does not upload pictures like that. These were inappropriate pictures. Like, real inappropriate. One of those things that get you blocked off Facebook, like, in an instant.
I'm so sorry, Jazz. Look, let's just go home and we'll take care of that later, okay?
Okay, it's so embarrassing.
Joel says when they got back to Houston, Jasmine took legal action against Robert.
She made a report about that in Houston?
Yeah, she made a report. She had a big knot right here and it had stitches in it, and then she had a stitch on her lip. She looked like a fish for like 3 days.
The domestic violence case against Robert was still pending, but Jasmine was relieved to have him out of her life.
However, Jasmine's relief was short-lived.
It was a short period where she had begun to relax. But then one day, Joel says that he came home and he found Jasmine frantically packing her bags.
I walked around the corner and said, "Hey, Jazz, you all right?" She thought I gotta get out of here. What happened?
I gotta go. It's not safe for me here anymore.
She saw Robert and he had a gun.
She walked up the walkway and he came around the corner and put a gun in her face. Told me next time we see you, he's gonna kill her.
She say why? What was the issue?
So the guy was angry.
Better watch your back. Your days are numbered.
Thank you for everything.
You don't have to leave. You'll be safe here. Please don't go.
Jasmine was so scared that she moved out of Joel's apartment and started staying in motels.
Unfortunately, Jasmine could not keep up the financial commitment that it took to stay in different hotel rooms every night. So eventually, she leaned on her friend Joel again and moved back in with him.
Moved all her stuff out of there, and she came to stay with me.
She moved back in with Joel about a week prior to the shooting.
The investigators are stunned by everything they're hearing. And if it's true, They agree that Robert is their #1 suspect in this crime.
Anything else you can think of? Here's my card with my information on it. All right. What I want you to do when I get you back there, I want you to see what you can find out of this cat. Okay?
When detectives run Robert's name into their database, they discover that Jasmine had indeed filed police reports against Robert for attacking her.
Robert also looks eerily similar to the man from the surveillance footage.
Detectives are eager to speak with Robert Roberts, but locating him is no easy task.
He's not answering phone calls. He's not showing up to any of the previous addresses that police have on file for him.
As officers continue patrolling the area for Robert, detectives do some additional digging on the white SUV that served as Robert's getaway vehicle on the morning of the crime.
They determined it's unlikely that the vehicle belonged to Robert.
When reviewing the DMV records, they noticed that he drives a black sedan and not a white SUV as seen in the surveillance video.
They're digging around looking for any sign of that white SUV.
And when investigators dig into Robert's social media page, they find just what they're looking for.
The detectives find a profile picture of one of Robert's friends standing next to a white SUV that matches the exact description of the getaway vehicle.
The woman's name is Candace Oliver.
How was she involved in this? Did she want Robert all to herself?
She could help block this whole thing.
With a history of abuse exposed, Jasmine Garrett's ex-boyfriend, Robert Roberts, has become the prime suspect in her homicide investigation. But police believe he had a willing accomplice.
Someone driving a white SUV was Robert's getaway driver on the morning of the crime.
They were able to find the identity of the person who owns the white SUV. Her name is Candace Oliver.
Investigators are having difficulties tracking down Robert. So in the meantime, they shift their focus to Candace.
Police bring Candace back to the Baytown police station for questioning.
They immediately press her about her relationship with Robert Roberts.
I met him through a friend, though, y'all. This was years ago. I guess he kept coming around, you know?
Candace shared with detectives that, yeah, she knew Robert Roberts and that they used to date on and off, but now their relationship kind of grew more to a platonic relationship, more of a brother-sister type relationship.
Detectives ask Candace about the last time she saw Robert. She tells them it was on October 28th, the same night of Jasmine's murder.
So October 28th, which was a Wednesday, shows up at your house, correct?
Right.
You remember about what time it was around?
It was about 2 something.
So maybe 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
What are you doing here?
Look, I need you to do me a favor.
Robert asks her, I need you to drive me somewhere.
Oh, Robert, it's 2 a.m.
Please.
So he never called you ahead of time, text you, message you, anything about, hey, what's going on, and can I come out? I want to come out, or anything like that. Nothing like that. Just showed up.
Yes. It was really shocking because I haven't seen him for a minute. And he was like, yeah, take me somewhere. I was like, where do I take you?
You owe me after this. Where are we going?
I'll explain to you on the way. But come on, we gotta hurry.
You asked him, where do you want me to take? What do you tell you?
He said, just drive.
Once in the car, Candace says Robert began directing her towards Baytown.
It was a quiet ride.
Did he tell you where to go?
No, he just said, go here.
All right, so what do you mean, go here? Did he give you like a location to drive to? You put in your phone, like directions? Or did he say, go here, here, here?
He just said, here and up.
Candace told detectives that she continuously asked Robert, what's going on, where are we going, why are we going, but Robert refused to tell her and just only simply stated, just keep driving.
You're not even asking him, well, we going out here, who you to see?
I kept asking him that the whole time. He was not trying to give me any answers.
The drive from Spring to Baytown or really, the west end of Houston to the far east end of Houston, can take anywhere between 30 minutes to an hour. It's a long time to be in a car with somebody and not know your destination.
Candace says they eventually arrived at a Baytown apartment complex.
I just parked. I cut my car off. And I just sat in the car.
And what did he do while he's there?
He got out the car.
Candace says she never saw Robert with a gun.
He gets out. He's got nothing with him.
No.
In other words, he's not carrying anything.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Gets out and starts walking around. Or walks away from the vehicle.
Right.
Okay.
And it was so dark I didn't see him anymore.
When detectives asked Candace what it is she thought Robert was there to do, she says she's unsure, but figures he was there to see another woman.
Candace does tell detectives that in the past, Robert had mentioned a young lady by the name of Jazz, but that she had never met her personally. After waiting for about 10 or 15 minutes, Candace began to call Robert to inquire as to what's going on.
I had called and said, what's going on? It's time to go. What are you doing? You know what I mean?
What does he say?
He hung up the phone.
About 30 minutes later, Robert finally returned.
Okay. When he got back to the vehicle, was he just walking, running, jogging?
He was walking.
He's walking. Everything seemed normal.
Yes.
She says he didn't seem nervous or suspicious at all.
Next time he gets in the car, we leave.
Gets into the vehicle. He says what?
Drive.
Candace says he didn't say anything about who he came to see or what he was there to do.
Candace tells detectives that she never saw Robert with the gun, nor did she hear any gunshots while she was waiting for him to come back to the vehicle.
Her story is certainly suspicious. It's possible that she knows more about what happened than she's letting on.
In an attempt to encourage Candace to be more forthcoming, they decide to show her the crime scene photos from Jasmine's murder.
This is what we were. That's what he did. That's what he did. That's why we're at this point right now. That's Jazz.
Guess who drove him to the crime scene and drove him away from a crime scene? Exactly. Guess who's involved in it? Yes, ma'am.
Despite her loyalty to Robert, she agrees to go on record that the man in the footage is Robert Roberts.
This is him.
That looks like him, yeah.
But where is Robert now?
They have their case. They just don't have him.
Police in Baytown, Texas finally have enough to arrest Robert Roberts for the murder of his ex-girlfriend, Jasmine Garrett. His reluctant getaway driver, Candace Oliver, has positively identified him as the shooter in surveillance footage.
This is him.
That looks like him, yeah.
While the evidence seems to be ironclad and squarely pointing at Robert as the shooter, there's one issue. They still don't know where Robert is.
Candace said she hadn't heard from him since the night in question.
They have him at the location. They have him in the vehicle. They have him captured on tape. They have their case. They just don't have him.
Weeks go by without any sign of Robert until April 13th, 2021.
Baytown police get a tip that Robert is hiding out over 300 miles away in New Orleans. With the help of New Orleans police, they're able to arrest him without incident and extradite him back to Texas.
They're hoping that they're going to get a confession out of him.
Mr. Roberts, I'm Detective Zukas, Detective Gonzalez, Baytown Police Department. Let's sit down and speak with you, good man.
But Robert refuses to give a statement, let alone a confession.
Robert asserts his right to have a lawyer present, effectively terminating the interview.
I'll talk to you guys when I have no lawyer for you. Anything you want to know when I have no lawyer. Okay. So you don't want to talk to you locate or speak with your attorney, correct? About here, buddy.
Regardless, investigators have what they need to charge Robert with first-degree murder.
They don't have Robert's confession. They don't need it. They're convinced that they have enough evidence and enough information to convict Robert Roberts of this horrible murder.
And when his trial begins in September 2023, prosecutors present their theory.
They have the story to tell of Jasmine and Robert. Started off as two people who leaned on each other, who cared about each other. But also a story of rage and envy, a story of domestic violence, a story of abuse.
The next time I see you, I'm gonna kill you.
Once Jasmine found out about Robert's true colors, she did everything she could to leave him, even filing domestic violence charges.
The prosecution's theory is that Robert couldn't get over it.
Prosecutors believe that Robert was fueled by anger and distress and that he had to control Jasmine.
He knew that she had filed domestic violence charges against him, and he knew that was the ultimate sign that he was losing control over her.
Prosecutors argued that Roberts would do anything to control Jasmine, including taking her life. And on the evening of October 28, 2020, that's exactly what he did.
Prosecutors say that night Robert drove to the home of his friend, Candace Oliver, and asked her for a ride.
I need you to do me a favor.
They claim this was a careful calculation to avoid his own vehicle being seen at the place of the crime.
I'll be right back.
He waited and lurked outside in the shadows. He waited for his opportunity to trap Jasmine in the confines of her vehicle.
The fact that he was able to wait for her to come out shows that this wasn't only a crime of passion, it was premeditated and it was planned.
As she was getting into her car, Roberts revealed himself and confronted her.
Hey, yo, Jazz, we need to talk. Robert, what are you doing here? So you really thought the police was gonna help you, huh?
Robert shot her 3 times in cold blood, killing her instantly.
For some reason, he took her phone. Investigators aren't entirely sure as to why.
Oh my God, he shot that square in the head. Holy.
While a neighbor called 911, Robert fled back to Candace's SUV and returned to her place in Springfield.
If it had not been for the surveillance video, Robert may have gotten away with this.
After a 5-day trial, the jury retires to deliberate.
After hearing all the horrific facts of this case, it didn't take long for them to come back with the verdict.
Robert Roberts is found guilty of first-degree murder and is sentenced to life in prison.
He won't be eligible for parole until April of 2051.
Candace was never charged in connection to the crime due to her cooperation with police and the fact that she truly seemed clueless as to what was going to happen that night.
This is a classic case of fatal attraction. And no matter how hard she tried to get away from Roberts, he was so fatally attracted to Jasmine that he was not gonna stop until he took her life.
This was an individual who, in a premeditated and cold-blooded fashion, sought out a person that he just couldn't let go of.
Though someone may present charming and loving and caring, we have to pay attention to the first sign of abuse. It's important to leave because it won't change.
Domestic violence happens in cycles, and we oftentimes want women, men, who's ever involved in a violent situation.
Love can be like a roller coaster. It twists and turns without a moment's notice.
When you in love, love make you do some crazy things.
Part of the thrill is the danger if something goes wrong.
It's like a battery. So with the battery, opposites attract.
It appeared that the common denominator was the violence.
But once you start the ride, You're in it until the end.
You letting somebody entice you to do something that you probably didn't want to do, you're messed up.
Her desire to please her man resulted in loss of life, damage, and fear and chaos.
And if you don't buckle up, someone will get hurt. March 24th, 2019, Columbus, Georgia. Located 90 minutes south of Atlanta, Columbus is a place where residents can taste suburbia without skipping the thrills of city life.
Living in Columbus, Georgia is like living in your own hometown, you know, just growing up around the same people that you've been around all your life.
Life has changed since I grew up here. It was a very quaint, quiet town, but it's gotten very, very bad here in Columbus.
On Sunday morning around 1:30 a.m., a disturbing call comes into 911 dispatch.
Police receive a call about a shooting on Winston Road at Park Place Apartments.
Despite Columbus having its fair share of rough neighborhoods, Winston Road is considered a safe haven in the city.
The area of Winston Road is a fairly upscale area, so it would be fairly unusual for a crime, let alone a gunshot victim, to be reported in this area. Law enforcement was able to respond pretty rapidly.
At the scene, bystanders point first responders to a truck that appears abandoned.
After the police arrived, they observed a deceased man in a pickup truck. It appears that the victim had only been shot once, but that the wound was fatal. The shot had to be from close range based on the burn marking. Police only found one shell casing at the scene, and it was believed that the weapon used was from a 9mm pistol.
As detectives begin to process the scene, they are able to establish the victim's identity.
The crime unit at the scene was able to pull the victim's wallet from his pants and determined that the deceased man is 30-year-old Philip Whitaker.
Luckily for detectives, it appeared that the victim's cell phone was also still in the vehicle. This is an important clue because it might provide detectives with the idea of who Philip was talking to or who he was with prior to the murder. So that phone is collected and sent for analyzing.
Now, detectives are wondering who wanted Philip dead.
As detectives start to question people at the scene, they learned that around 1 a.m., witnesses heard shouting from outside. It sounded like two men were arguing over money. One man was wearing a mask, and one witness saw the masked man pull out a gun and shoot Philip. The masked man then jumped into a gold Buick that was driven by a woman, and then they fled the scene.
Perhaps this was an armed robbery that had gone terribly wrong.
Philip had no money in his wallet, so investigators feel that whoever did this may have stolen the money that was in his wallet.
Because Philip was found inside the truck, detectives believe that he likely wasn't killed instantly by the gunshot wound, and that perhaps he entered the vehicle to drive away. But he was unable to, and then died shortly after.
Detectives contact Philip Whitaker's family to inform them of the terrible tragedy. Upon hearing the news, Philip's cousin, Gabrielle Harris, drives to the location of where Philip's body was discovered. She identifies his body.
That was a very emotional day for me because he was my favorite cousin. We didn't know how or what happened, and we was gonna get to the bottom of that, but at that time we was just trying to inform other family members of what happened.
Gabrielle then calls her mom, Sabrina.
She had reached out and she called us and she said, "Mom," and she was crying real hard, and I'm like, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" And she said, "They just found Philip dead," and I was like, "What?"
Philip's girlfriend, Amanda Frazier, finds out about his murder later that morning.
6, 7 o'clock in the morning, my sister came banging on my door. She was like, "Your baby daddy is, he gone, he dead." She just kept saying, I was like, "Who?" So I went on social media and I just seen a whole bunch of R.I.P. Philip, R.I.P. Migo, all that, whatever. So that's how I knew it was real.
Philip Whitaker had a personality that attracted people.
Well, he had a heart of gold. Now that I can say. He had a big heart. He'd give you the shirt off his back. He was one of those type people.
Philip was very free-hearted, and so whatever he had, he shared it, with you.
Philip was a family man through thick and thin.
One thing I can say about Philip, he loved family. He loved his family on his mom's side and on his dad's side, and he would love to see them happy.
Philip's kind heart is what attracted his girlfriend, Amanda.
He was riding past my house, and my sister started flirting with his friend, and we all started riding together, and we never thought that we was gonna be talking or in a relationship. We became best friends.
Philip and Amanda had an on-again, off-again relationship throughout the years, but that all changed in 2011 when Amanda became pregnant with his baby.
Philip was nonchalant. He didn't talk. He didn't really open up. It took a lot for me to get something, just a small conversation out of Philip. He started talking more, let me in more. He was happy to be a daddy. I ain't never seen a side of him like that before, so that's what I mean when I say he opened up more.
When Philip was 22 years old, Amanda gave birth to their daughter, Sabrina.
He was so happy when he first seen Sabrina.
Being a father changed Philip.
He did everything he can for her, or he went over and beyond for her. I can't say that. And I was excited for him.
Philip wanted to give his daughter the perfect life.
The last time I see him, I think, was he had took me to the store and bought me a whole lot of stuff.
He was aspiring to one day build a house and, just, be a family man.
But now, just hours after Philip has been brutally murdered, police are left wondering why.
Detectives on the scene start kicking the tires on theories about what happened, and then they do a background check in their own system about Philip, just to see if he is known by police. They learn that Philip has a criminal record for selling marijuana, so this becomes a launching pad for police. They feel that Philip might be the victim of a drug deal gone bad.
And because Philip sold marijuana, he was known to carry cash.
Growing up, he always had money.
Well, he only sold marijuana because, that's a way to feed the family. He didn't believe in, working a 9-to-5, quick money. He felt like that was the quickest way to, feed his family.
Philip's family is frustrated by the lack of communication from the Columbus Police Department.
No one reached out to nobody. So I think I'm just gonna have to take it upon myself to reach out to them and see what they're gonna do. But we need to get on the ball because this don't make sense. It's like, don't nobody know nothing.
But unbeknownst to Philip's family, detectives already have a key suspect in the murder. At the police station, forensic investigators have processed Philip's cell for information.
When police analyze his cell phone, they find a very important clue. In Philip's messages, there's a correspondence from a woman named Sheree Threadgill. The message is sent around midnight, which is 90 minutes before the police think the murder occurred. And it looks as if Sheree was looking to buy marijuana from Philip.
Was Sheree responsible for Philip's murder, or was something else in play?
When we had posted the messages that Philip and her had, we had posted it on Facebook or whatever like that, and as soon as we posted that, it's like people started sharing them. And here we got 2-3 people from this side of town saying, oh, that same person tried me like that. She tried me like that. Another girl, she tried me. It was saying that she was going around doing a couple of people, trying to get a couple of people like that.
The death of local resident Philip Whitaker has left his family burdened by heartache. But just one day after his murder, information surfaces about a suspect who may be involved in the shooting.
In any investigation, you follow the evidence. So in this case, police have Philip's cell phone. And in that phone was a message from Sheree Threadgill. Police know that Sheree had messaged Philip 90 minutes prior to his murder to buy weed. So naturally, she becomes the main suspect in the case.
Police want to know what kind of relationship did Philip have with Sheree. According to the information they find on his phone, it seemed as if Sheree and Philip were more than acquaintances.
Philip had an on and off relationship with Amanda, who was the mother of his children. In his off moments, he would entertain the company of other women. One of these women happened to be Sheree Threadgill.
On the night of Philip's murder, Sheree messaged Philip several times. The messages were flirty, and she seemed determined to meet Philip to buy weed.
He would have not had pulled up to meet nobody past midnight like that. So that's why I was like, maybe they had
Police decide to check with Philip's family to see if there was a sexual relationship between the two.
If they went together, the family never met her, as far as I know.
Detectives aren't sure if Philip was romantically involved with Sheree or if she was simply a customer. Luckily, Philip's family has already started their own investigation into the matter.
So Philip lives in a community that doesn't trust the police, and people certainly don't openly speak to them. So his family takes matters into their own hands, and in a way, they act as private investigators. One of his family members manages to get Sheree Threadgill's phone number.
Philip's cousin niece Sheely calls Sheree on the phone.
Somehow, my homegirl, she got the number to the girl, and we gave her a call. She was stumbling over words. She was backpedaling, trying to explain what happened. Philip got out the car to make the sale. And when he did that, supposedly when he threw the marijuana in her car, somebody with a ski mask came and told him to give it up. And when he told Philip to give it up, Philip was just like, it's in her car.
Sheree says that the masked man shot Philip, and she was forced to drive away to save herself.
She sounded nervous. She then said, I don't want to get in trouble for buying weed. And at that point, we like, this is a whole homicide. They not stunned what you bought. So she was just like, I don't want nobody to think that I had nothing to do with it. We didn't say that, we asked him what happened.
Philip's family tell police about the strange interaction with Sheree on the phone.
In Sheree's own words, a masked man shot Philip. And police know that Sheree had arranged the meeting to buy weed. So police want to know about Sheree. Who is she? What is her background? Who does she run with? And because it's 2019, they get a lot of this information from her social media account.
After detectives scour her social media accounts, they learn that Sheree is 20 years old and has a young child.
Sheree was a young mom, and it appeared that the father wasn't in the picture to raise the young child.
We don't know much about Sheree as a mother. Based on her social media photos, it appears that she was happy to be a mom. She had pictures of smiling while pregnant and smiling while holding a baby. She appeared happy.
Police also learn that Sheree is in a relationship with an 18-year-old man named Jalen Benton.
Sheree, she met Jalen. She was a few years his senior. However, his charisma and charm drew her in like a moth to a flame.
Jalen was raised primarily by his uncle, who worked at the military base in town. Seemed to be an ordinary kid from what they can tell. Didn't get into much trouble, was good looking.
Jalen and Sheree have only been dating a few months, but the relationship seemed serious.
Jalen's ego was likely inflated due to Sheree being an older woman and all of the attention that she was willing to give him. Sheree positioned herself to be inseparable. As time went on, if you saw one, you would see the other.
But it seems as if money became an issue in their relationship.
They don't have wealthy families, they don't have good jobs. So like in any relationship, a lack of stable income becomes a roadblock in their romantic connection.
As police continue to get information on Sheree and Jalen, they learn that neither one has a substantial criminal record.
Police do a background check on Sheree. It comes back clean. And the same goes for Jalen, and nothing stands out. He has no lengthy criminal history, nothing to the level of committing a homicide.
But looks can be deceiving. Police have to locate Sheree and Jalen and question them.
Police get a known address for Sheree. It's her mom's house in town, not too far from where Philip was murdered. And they go there, and Sheree's mom is there. And the mom comes right out and says, Sheree and Jalen have skipped town, which sounds a bunch of alarms because if they had nothing to do with this, why would they leave?
When detectives check DMV records, they realize that a gold sedan is registered in Sheree's name. It's the same type of vehicle that witnesses saw at the crime scene when Philip was murdered.
Detectives don't know to what extent Sheree is involved in Philip's murder, but they know she's involved. They put an APB out on that vehicle because they have the tag number. Now the detectives want to locate her as fast as possible. And more importantly, they want to learn more about Jalen to see if he's involved as well.
There is no telling where the couple could be.
From a police perspective, you have to center the entire investigation around these two individuals because this is all they have to go on.
Then, March 25th, just one day after Philip Whitaker was killed, an armed robbery in nearby Phoenix City, Alabama, raises concerns.
There was some chatter of an incident that occurred. An individual had actually been shot, but they survived the shooting.
The suspects were seen driving a gold Buick. Cameras were able to catch the tags on this Buick, and this sets off all kinds of alarms.
Investigators have a murder in one state and a shooting in another. But are these two events related? Police are on the lookout for a couple of lovers who might have murder on the mind. 18-year-old Jalen Benton and 21-year-old Sheree Threadgill are now believed to be involved in a robbery in Alabama.
There's a river that separates Columbus and Phoenix City. They suspected them to have armed robbed a Waffle House there, where shots were actually fired inside the business.
The armed robbers were described as a black male and female couple between the ages of 18 and 25 years old. According to the reports, the two perpetrators tried to rob a woman inside the restaurant.
They were trying to get her purse, and she fought. And in the process of that, she was shot in the leg.
One of the perpetrators pulled out a pink pistol, which of course is a very unique color for a weapon, especially one that's being used in a crime.
Detectives working the scene in Phoenix City radio all surrounding police departments and tell them to be on the lookout for an armed and dangerous couple driving a gold Buick.
Communication between police departments is so important today. Within seconds, multiple jurisdictions were communicating to each other about these individuals. And as a result, some connections were made.
It was believed because the tag on the vehicle and the vehicle make and model and everything was starting to add up.
It seems as if Jalen and Sheree's crime spree is escalating with each passing hour.
One of the tactics police lean on here is help from the public.
News about Sheree and Jalen's crime spree hits the local news.
They know Sheree and Jalen are armed and extremely dangerous. So it's all hands on deck at this point.
Philip Whitaker's family is in a state of shock when they learn about the additional crimes.
We were just seeing stuff on Facebook that, Facebook crime, they was posting things that the crimes that they was committing along the way. Why are y'all doing this? That's the question that I still have to this day. Why did y'all do this?
They were on the run, and they needed money to survive, which makes them more dangerous. There's no telling what they'll do next.
On March 25, 2019, at approximately 7:37 p.m., the Meridian Police Department is dispatched to a restaurant.
Meridian, Mississippi is about 4 hours west of Columbus. It's essentially on the border of Alabama and Mississippi.
According to the reports, a brazen armed robbery had just been committed by a masked couple.
The investigators immediately called my cell phone to let me know that an armed robbery of a business had just occurred.
When Officer Ratliff starts his investigation, one key witness statement stands out. Like in the restaurant robbery, a gold sedan is at the center of the crime.
The car had not quite pulled up to the window yet. And once the employee opens the window because the car is coming, he produces 2 handguns and jumps through the window. They were all scared to death. He came through with guns drawn, pointed at them.
And there is one more key piece of evidence in the case. The perp was brandishing a pink pistol. Officer Ratliff checks in with surrounding police departments to see if any other robberies were committed by an assailant with a pink 9mm.
Hey, what kind of gun, what color was the gun that he used in the armed robberies? Every single one of them said pink. It was just the telltale signs that, yeah, we got our guy.
When it was all said and done, the entire robbery lasted only a few minutes, and no one was hurt.
If you are so desperate for money that you are willing to jump through a drive-through window with a gun, there's really no telling how far you will go.
Police are still unable to apprehend Sheree and Jalen, but based on their robberies, they suspect the couple is heading west.
The first crime was the murder of Philip Whitaker in Columbus, Georgia. Then they head west and do a quick stop in Phoenix City, Alabama. And then they hit Meridian, which is 4 hours west of Columbus. So these two are certainly establishing a pattern. They weren't changing their car. They weren't changing the weapons they were using. These were clearly inexperienced criminals.
Police departments throughout Mississippi are alerted to be on the lookout for a gold sedan. For now, police can only play the waiting game. 2 hours west of Meridian is the peaceful town of Vicksburg, Mississippi.
We are right on the Mississippi River on I-20, right at the Louisiana-Mississippi line. The sheriff's office and the police department work together, hand in hand, to try to keep crime down. Most of our crime is property crime.
But their quiet town is about to be turned upside down. At 9:47 p.m., while on patrol, Officer Keys spots a gold sedan driving on Highway 61.
I knew it was the suspect vehicle from the armed robberies.
Officer Keys initiates a stop near a gas station.
They pull over on the shoulder between the 2 entrances. I pull in behind them off the road. I knew that they were armed, and that's the reason I waited on backup when I first stopped them, just to make sure that we had more numbers than they did.
Then, Officer Keys' life changes forever. Just 1 day after the murder of Philip Whitaker, police in Vicksburg, Mississippi believe they have their suspects cornered.
We had them out of our community before they hurt somebody here. If they're willing to jump through a fast food restaurant with a gun, they're pretty much willing to do anything.
Officer Keys knows the suspects are armed and dangerous, so he waits for backup. But Sheree and Jalen aren't in the mood to wait. They exit the car and Jalen begins shooting at Officer Keys.
I was able to see the muzzle flash, see everything, have no idea where that round went to. The Circle K was full of people and vehicles at the time.
Officer Keys takes cover behind his squad car.
Despite getting shot at, Deputy Keys does not return fire to ensure the safety of the civilians in the area.
Jalen and Sheree run on foot. They aren't going down without a fight.
Jalen and Sheree are desperate at this moment. There's really nothing else to do other than run. So what do? They commandeer a vehicle and they take hostages.
A mother is picking her daughter up from work.
She had pulled up to pick up her daughter from work, and the next thing she knew, there was people jumping in her vehicle. A gun was pointed at the back of her head.
Sheree and Jalen take off in the stolen vehicle with one hostage driving and the other in the front seat.
Now we have 2 hostages, so a lot of our playbook is taken from us. We can't ram the vehicle because we've got two suspects as well as at least two hostages in the car.
Officer Keys stays in hot pursuit of the stolen vehicle.
I jumped ahead of the pursuit with a spike strip in an attempt to flatten the tires on the vehicle in a safe manner and get the vehicle to stop.
I believe they were trying to get across the bridge to Louisiana, as we are right there.
But in a shocking turn of events, the stolen vehicle avoids the spike strip by making a U-turn on the highway. Then, to everyone's surprise, the vehicle comes to a complete stop.
The mom threw the vehicle in park and they jumped out. The sheriff stopped with them and confirmed that, yes, these are the only 2 hostages and that nobody else except for the 2 suspects are in the vehicle.
Officer Martin Pace, who was also in pursuit, is tasked with getting information from the surviving hostages.
She was able to give us good information very quickly that I was able to relay to the other units. She was able to tell us who was in what position, who had the gun.
According to the hostage, Sheree is driving the vehicle, and Jalen is in the front passenger seat with a loaded gun. With the hostages now safe, Officer Keys attempts to end the chase once and for all.
I aimed at the driver's side tire and tried to shoot it out.
After an hour-long pursuit, the stolen vehicle comes to a complete stop. But is the fight over?
The suspects were about to come out and engage us in gunfire.
Jalen Benton and Sheree Threadgill seem to be at the end of their road.
I remember coming out, moving to the passenger side of my vehicle. The sheriff was to my right, and I was drawn down and dead on the passenger door.
Officer Keys knows anything can happen. The doors open, and Officer Keys steadies his aim.
The female driver come out first. She come out unarmed, and the officers to my left started talking to her, calling her out, taking her into custody.
The 2 peacefully exit the vehicle after causing so much pandemonium throughout multiple states.
The saga is over. Sheree and Jalen are finally in police custody.
He went in the back of my patrol car. He really didn't say anything. He was just there. I'd been shot at earlier that night. After everything settled, after my adrenaline dump, there on scene, after taking them in custody and everything was settled down, I was there, but I wasn't there.
As for Philip Whitaker's family, they are relieved to hear that Sheree and Jalen have been apprehended.
The detective reached out and let us know that they was captured, and this is how they was captured.
The next morning, about 6:30, I received a call from Martin Pace, the sheriff in Morgan County. It said, hey, we have the suspects. Would I like to take the lead in the investigation?
Agent Ratliff and the Warren County detectives decide to interrogate Sheree first.
She was really stoic as far as that. She said that she lived in Columbus with Jalen, but didn't really dive into where they stopped and whatnot.
As I was in there listening, I could tell that she would kind of play off with the information that was being provided to her by the FBI, and then she would kind of downplay that a little bit, but she wouldn't deny it, she just wouldn't go into it.
I don't think she was protecting Jalen. I think she was protecting herself in a way, because she really wasn't telling off on herself, because she was really a part of the crimes as well.
With Sheree staying tight-lipped, Agent Ratliff shifts his attention towards Jalen.
So Jalen was very stoic as well, very standoffish, didn't really want to talk about much. We started talking about Sheree and how much Sheree loved him, how their relationship looked like really secure because they had committed all these crimes together, and it seemed like they had a good relationship.
Jalen starts to loosen up.
He seemed almost protective of her. They both were equally responsible for their actions.
Jalen gave us detailed information that only him and her would know. And once we gave Sheree that tidbit of information, maybe just a little bit, that only them two knew, and Sheree knew that Benton had told us everything, she came out and started telling us everything.
Sheree tells detectives how the murder of Philip Whitaker went down.
She was going to meet him, buy some marijuana. She stated that this was someone that she knew and that Jalen wanted to rob him. She said that she told him that he typically didn't have money on him, just marijuana, but Jalen still wanted to rob him, so she facilitated the buy. She said that he gave her the marijuana and Jalen came up with the firearm. And Jalen told him, give me all you got, give me all you got. And she said that this individual had already went back to the truck and that Jalen just shot him. And then came and got in the vehicle and they took off.
The confession doesn't end with the murder of Philip Whitaker. Sheree starts to confess to crimes that the authorities don't even know about.
She admitted to everything. The murder in Columbus, all of the armed robberies, which I think it was about 10 of them, that they committed from Georgia to Brandon, Mississippi.
Soon after Sheree comes clean, Jalen confesses as well.
He confessed to each individual crime. That alone was important to itself, but he had specific details that, were not fraud or forged. Like, yeah, we went here at this time. We went here this day. We did this, drove here, and stopped at these places where we robbed.
Sheree may have been guilty of standing by her man, but Jalen clearly was capable of violence.
It sounds like to me it was a lot of manipulation in the beginning. He may have portrayed an image that he had more than what he possibly had, which kind of captivated her and kept her attention. And so once she had drawn her in with the manipulation, she was kind of stuck based off the intimacy that had occurred between them. And as time went on, she had tunnel vision. And with the tunnel vision, you don't look at what's right, you don't look at what's wrong. Typically, you just continue to move on just to satisfy the needs of our partner.
There is just one question that remains. Can authorities prove Sheree and Jalen's guilt in a court of law?
There were some serious concerns about Sheree's trial. She seemed to be the outlier because while she made a confession, she was also distancing herself from Jalen, and her depiction of their relationship together was starting to change.
Sheree Threadgill and Jalen Benton went on a 48-hour crime spree that took the life of Philip Whitaker and terrorized multiple communities in 3 different states.
Sheree's desire for affection and to please her man resulted in loss of life, damage, and fear and chaos to many citizens, all for the love of her man.
When you look at the entire sequence of events, it becomes clear, in my opinion, that they worked in tandem together. Whether it was by pulling the trigger or setting up the deal, they both worked together to leave, to get away from the situation.
As prosecutors prepare to take their case to court, officials wonder if the toxic couple will turn on one another.
Sheree had a chance to distance herself from Jalen. He was, after all, the trigger man and the one doing the robberies. But would she do it, or would she stick with the man she loves?
They were looking for her for answers as to what happened with this individual that had been shot and killed. And that's one of the reasons why they left, is because she was in fear.
But prosecutors aren't buying that Sheree feared for her life.
We know that Jalen was the one that would continuously go through the windows and, do the armed robberies. But to be the trigger man, you gotta have a driver. They had to work together to accomplish that.
You letting somebody entice you to do something that you probably didn't want to do, and at that point, you probably wanted to do it because you did it. But now, look at you now. You're messed up. Your whole life is gone.
It was more of him, I believe. Like I said, love make you do crazy things.
In a last-ditch effort to avoid a criminal trial, prosecutors offer both Sheree and Jalen plea deals.
You just have to gather all the information possible. You have to make sure that all the officers involved have provided detailed reports. Make sure that the district attorney, the prosecutors are involved in every step of the way.
In the 11th hour, Sheree and Jalen both decide to take responsibility for their actions in court.
It appeared that they were going to enter a plea of guilty.
Philip's family won't stop fighting for him.
I know some family members is trying hard to get them back here, you know, so that they can serve time for the wrongdoing that they did to our cousin.
Life is better with Sheree Threadgill and Jalen Benton off the streets.
I think I heard somebody earlier say this modern day Bonnie and Clyde, and I don't like to say that because it makes it sound like it's some romantic adventure. And they were cold-blooded. They were cold-blooded. They'd already killed one person. There's no doubt in my mind that they would have killed others.
The memories of Philip Whitaker will last forever.
He was a family man. He was loved by all his family, of course, and of course his kids.
He was a good daddy, a great daddy.
Shining bright in the light. Everybody moving, dancing wild and free. This funky groove got you and me.